So you know the saying, when one door closes, another one opens? Well, some Democrats in the Oregon legislature are trying to make sure the door stays closed behind former Republican Representative Mike Nearman, and we just continue to like using door stuff when it comes to this guy. I'm sure you're familiar with this door stuff here in this video of Nearman opening the door of the state capitol to right-wing protesters back in December. He's now facing misdemeanor trespassing and misconduct charges for this. He was actually back in court for it today, but it was just one of those status checks on the case, so it doesn't look like much happened. Nothing really substantial. Now, earlier this month, his fellow lawmakers expelled him from the State House by a 59-1 vote. That one vote was from Nearman himself, by the way. He tried. It's the first time an Oregon lawmaker has ever been expelled by their peers. And the thing is, even though he did get kicked out, that vote doesn't ban him from being placed back in that seat. So here's the deal. A group of Democrats have now introduced a bill to do just that, to ban him. House Bill 3413 says, quote, a person who has previously been expelled from the Legislative Assembly may not be appointed to fill a vacancy in the office of state senator or state representative. Now, you're probably thinking, wait a minute, what? How could he actually just get appointed back into that seat after being expelled? Well, technically, our little asterisk here, that could happen. Now that Nearman's seat is empty after he's been expelled, the state Republican Party has to come up with a list of 3 to 5 candidates who could fill that seat. Then the commissioners for each county in that district picks one of those names. And in this case, that includes Benton, Marion, Polk, and Yamhill counties. Now, here's the thing. OPB is reporting that Nearman has actually thrown his hat into the ring. He wants his name to be considered, telling the GOP that he wants to be reappointed. He wants his job back. We don't know if the party is going to choose him as one of the candidates, but I did ask a Yamhill County commissioner about the possibility of that happening.
Well, I think that it's a real possibility, Dan, that his name comes before us as one of the 3. I think that the boards of commissioners understand both their constituents in their districts, their counties, and also their colleagues of the legislature. And I think they will recognize the somber and grave and dramatic process that happened with that expulsion vote. So while I think that there is a chance that he will be presented to us, I don't think that we are going to vote him in as the candidate. There are many other candidates who I've received, emails and phone calls from people who are essentially putting their names in the hat.
So we'll have to wait and see what those names are, I guess. According to the Oregonian, Republicans are meeting Friday to come up with that list of candidates for Nearman's seat. Will he be one of those candidates? I don't know. We don't know. But it would be a statement if he was, I think. We'll keep our eyes on this for you and keep you posted. All right. Now, we usually when we talk about Republicans, like we just did, we like to call it the elephant in the room. That's kind of a little thing, the phrase we